leaving an impact, or what we call a legacy, doing something for others to benefit and solve a problem for another community is really where we find that I've never had a student admitted to an Ivy League or an Ivy level institution without at least hitting level 4 and or level 5. Okay, so let me walk you through that. Here are 2 examples of level 3 is the coolness factor. Both of these young women, Mira on my right and Gemma on my left, they're dancers, competitive dancers. They were on a dance team. Mira was a tap dancer and Gemma was a modern dancer. They also did that at their school. They were on the cheer team or the dance team, something also for their school. Okay, perfectly fine, perfectly good passion project, what we call coolness factor. Okay, your coolness factor is this great thing that you do. Mira is at Berkeley. Gemma got admitted to Northeastern. She committed to Elon. Perfectly fine. Both these women did just fine. Here's the difference. Level 4 leadership is this. So Sienna did not meet level 2. She just wanted a project to do on her own. Now, Sienna herself, she was worried that, she was a solid kid, but she wanted to stand out and she wanted to get admitted to a better college than she thought she could get admitted to. Now, she thought she wanted to be a pediatrician, and she loved to sew and knit and crochet. So we merged those 2 things together. We found an organization for her called Beads of Courage. And what does that organization do? They help kids with cancer, a community that she loves, and they needed these bags to hold their milestone beads. Okay, so solving a problem for a community you love, spending 80 hours or more. So Sienna decided that she would sew 100 bead bags, and it took her about a year to do that. She could have said, that's a great organization, that's a great cause, I'm going to sew 10 bags. She could have even said 20 bags. I would have said, that's still going to be a passion project. That's still going to be something you love to do, and you did it, and good. But really leaving an impact was the commitment to do 100. So she did that and spent well over 80 hours to do that. Okay, so that's slightly different. I'll give you one more example that shows you all 5 levels. It's very rare, it's kind of a unicorn, that you find someone who meets all 5 levels. But in this case, Alexis does meet all 5 levels. So her level 3 was that she's on the dance team at her school, and they were also dance national champions twice when she was there. I know, crazy, right? And then level 4, she was doing a Girl Scout Gold Award project. And so she chose her project to be a 6-part, she interviewed 6 immigration lawyers for her 6-part education series on how to navigate the green card process. Okay, boom. So she does that project, which is level 4, but because of the intellect and all the research involved in that project, her actual level 4 actually covers both level 4 and level 5. Okay. All right, I went over that really quickly, so feel free to save your questions in a second. All right, feel free to, you can type your questions as I go through. Okay, here are your co-curricular must-dos. Focus on activities that reflect your passion and impact and your intellectual curiosity. And then when you get to the application, those of you who are rising seniors, we help students really figure out how to actually put that concisely and in a compelling way, because the application is whole nother mama. I'm sure I'll give lessons on in the fall. Okay, so don't overlook non-traditional activities like jobs and caregiving and unique hobbies. I'm telling you, the more unique you can be, the better, right? The tap dancer, I always think of Mira when she first started working with me. She's half Chinese, half Indian, tap dancer, competitive tap dancer. So she gets closer and closer to being a party of one. So that's really kind of what you're going for. Okay, question number 4 is my favorite topic. Question number 4 is, what is the story that you're telling about yourself? So this is the piece, like what you may know and what people talk about is, needing a really strong essay or needing a great personal statement or needing a great story. Believe it or not, it's still out there that you need a sad story or a sob story or a tragedy and things like that. And I always say, you need to avoid the 4 Ds: death, divorce, devastation, and an actual D. Those are things that we actually say actively, don't write about those things. So you might be wondering why. So let me share with you a few things. So here are the most common topics. You want to avoid these things: community service, athletics, people, and life challenges. And so what I just described, the 4 Ds, that comes under the life challenges. So many parents, and I still find students that say like, "Oh, I don't have anything sad to talk about." I'm like, please trust me, you don't need a sad story. You need a good story. You need a compelling story. So those are the four most common topics. So you really want to try to avoid them because most students don't know how to make. It's possible to make these great, but it takes a lot of time, effort, and energy, and most students don't know how to do it well. Okay, I promise you. Just trust me on this. Here are my two Amelias. Sorry, I don't want you to confuse them, but Amelia on my right is from Texas, Houston, Texas, and Amelia on my left is from Asheville, North Carolina. Did I just say Asheville? Did I say that right? Yeah, Asheville, North Carolina. I just was there and met up with the family. So Amelia from Texas, she's pinned on my Instagram. She talks about she went to a tier 1 school, and her parents had the resource to give her a private tutor, which everybody thinks is the gold standard. And the private tutor, she went in, she said, I went 6 times, 6 weeks, and sat in the office for 2 to 3 hours, and they would just say, go write. And they didn't give her much direction. She left and she still didn't have anything. She joined her essay camp, and in 5 days, she left with, I think, 6 essays, including the one that's pretty famous in our world. We talk about the chocolate. She wrote an essay about chocolate. Amelia from North Carolina, she was struggling, and so she came just fairly late. She was a referral, and her dad called and said, I think my daughter needs help. And she just was struggling as to what to write. She had a first choice was USC all the way across the country. Not many people, I think, from her high school, ever, I don't know if they applied or ever got admitted. So she struggled with using our formula. She got through it, and she pushed through, and she came up with a great essay. It was very personal to her. So I won't share too much, but trust me, it's one of the ones I remember from that year. So both admitted to their top college by using the formula that we teach, that we've taught for over 10,000 students. Our essay writing formula is pretty spectacular. So here's Sean and John, my twins. I just went to see John in person. He's at North Carolina State. I met him for the first time in person. But Mom also found us when they were she found us late December of junior year, and then they joined our programs in the spring of junior year. So both very different students, and both going through the process, and they followed all of our steps, and now they're at their place. And it was great to see John. I can't wait for some of those videos and reels that we did together to come out. Okay, here are your essay must-dos. Start learning about the essay process. Read, watch, or listen. I have a number of things on my podcast, probably on my YouTube channel, and we are going to be coming out with more. The next several long-form videos that will be released, I think many of them are about essays. I actually did one that's on the YouTube site that's called 68 Essays, something like that. So start learning about essays early. The sooner the better. The essay will take way longer than you think, and there's many more essays that you have to do. Now, I did promise you that I would tell you why you need so many essays. So again, if you're Gen X like me, please type in the chat me, so I don't feel so alone. I wrote one personal statement for one college that I applied to. The other colleges I applied to didn't even require essays. Today, if you're from California, you apply to the University of California system. That's 4 essays already. Then if you're applying for everyone else, or if you're also applying using the common application, you're going to need one personal statement, which is 650 words. Okay. So if you're from California and Common App, now you're at 5. Then for every Common App school that you apply to, that your child applies to, and I don't know about you, but nowadays the average is somewhere between 8 and 12 applications. And many of our students apply to 15, maybe 18 colleges. So for every college you apply to and add to that list, each college is going to require an additional 2 to 7 more essays. Except Northeastern, they don't require any supplements. So there you go. So the number starts to add up very quickly. And so I do have students that report needing 18 essays or as many as 68 essays. So you do the math, okay?